Hello everyone and welcome back to the weekly reviews for The Mandalorian, of course. And we're back with, what chapter are we on now? I'm losing
14.
count here. We're back with chapter 14.
This is disappointing behaviour.
Titled The Tragedy. We'll just say that out now because not really any major spoilers coming from that because you can't really gather what's going to happen.
Yeah.
We'll just talk about a little bit of a non-spoiler thoughts first, so you can stay around for that if you haven't seen the episode, and then in a minute or so we'll get into our spoiler review. Mm-hmm. So, what do you think of the episode?
I thought it was great. It's one of the best episodes. I feel like I'm saying that every week, except for like the second episode, which is kind of boring. But yeah, this is like probably my favourite episode this season.
This might be my favourite episode that they've done in the whole show.
That's what I was going to say as well. It's up there. I don't know if it's better.
I feel like we say this a lot, though. Yeah. They keep on topping themselves, though. They haven't really disappointed that much so far.
Up and up and up, and it's like keeps getting better and better. So that's one thing I'd say this season is very consistent because they kept in season 1 we had 1, 2, and 3 which were amazing, then 4 which wasn't as good, but it was still good, and then 5 which was and then 6 which was and then after that it went back to being amazing again. Whereas this, it's like amazing, 2 was kind of boring, and the rest have just been going up.
Listen, if you haven't seen this already, do not watch this spoiler review without watching this episode, because you do not want to get this spoiled.
Just, bags off next level.
Yeah, you do not want to get this spoiled. This is something you need to experience. Hopefully, you haven't got it spoiled already from other sources.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen it already, definitely go and check it out before we get into our spoiler review. You can now go and watch it on Disney Plus, and yeah, all I have to say is it's actually what I think my favourite Mandalorian episode of all time.
I'd say that's fair.
The content, the way it was shot was okay. Actually, for certain shots were really good, and then certain action scenes. I'm just gonna say that for now.
Yeah.
And then
the
planet that they're on
was that was one thing I will say I was a bit disappointed with. But the planet, the way they did that. But
yeah, the planet, I was a bit disappointed with that as well. I don't know. I feel like it was a bit empty. It was a bit plain.
Yeah.
A bit too plain.
It's
That's
not
all
really
I'm going to
plain,
say.
It's just that compared to how it should, or I feel like it should look, I don't know.
Anyway, yeah, enough of that. Spoiler review.
Yeah,
so if you haven't seen the episode already, go watch it. Then feel free to return to the video when you're finished and enjoy, I guess. But... yes, so the tragedy it all went mad.
It did all go bad, to be fair.
This episode had me gasping at least about 4 times, which has been the most out of a
There was 2 scenes in this episode where I actually just lost my mind.
Should we start in order? Let's start in order.
Yeah.
So we see basically where we start mostly every episode. Mando's on the Razor Crest. We've got Grogu, the child. Yeah. It's gonna feel weird calling him Grogu this episode, more.
Yeah, that was a cute moment when he was just
when he was calling his name. We see him call his name to see him react to it.
He was just messing about with him, which was
and then using the Force again, talking about basically training and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I saw someone say this little training scene between Mando and well, not training scene, but it's him passing him the
messing around with his abilities pretty much.
Yeah, could foreshadow him actually training him in the future, which I don't know. You can't train him.
I don't know about training him in the Force. He might if he works out more what he can do, then he'll help him get better at it, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. And so we get that same sort of moment, similar moments that we get to every episode. Still messing about with that ball from season 1, which is fine, I guess. And then we see them come to the planet. What's it? Tython,
which was one thing that I was a little, I don't know about disappointed, but I wasn't overly happy with it because in the comics and in Legends, Tython's I assume it's a different part of the planet. Because in the Darth Vader comics, it's still a snow planet. It's really icy and it looks really nice. This, it didn't look bad, but it was just it looked kind of generic. It was just
I feel like this planet, the way it looked, it was very desert like.
Yeah.
Not like Tatooine though. It was more I want to say like a canyon feel to it, hills and stuff.
Kind of, I don't know what planet it reminded me. It kind of reminded me sort of like some of the bits on Takodana from The Force Awakens, but like not really. Like if you get, I don't know how to really describe it. Like it felt like.
Wait, which one's that? Which planet's that?
Maz's planet where the castle is.
Oh yeah. That one's more like swampy, isn't it?
It is more like foresty.
That one had like a lot more greenery on it. There's a tiny bit of greenery.
It looked a lot like Earth. That's what I'd say. It looked a lot like Earth.
Well, there'll be a picture on, basically very sort of Western scenes. That's what I was very Western vibes. That's what I was getting anyway.
Yeah.
There'll be a picture on it, picture of it, like in how it looked in the episode anyway. And we see that they're seeing stone from above, and then Mando says we can't park. Basically, not park, but land there. On top of it, yeah, we can't put it on top of it, so we're gonna put it somewhere else and just fly over. So we see a nice little shot of Mando holding Grogu and flying over,
and then Grogu's just making that weird noise.
Yeah, Grogu's still making noises, of course, and then the way he lands, which I liked, he lands. The camera's like looking up as he lands down. I actually really liked that shot. I noticed it. I thought I'd mentioned to you that it reminded me of Iron Man.
Robert Rodriguez did a good job of shooting this episode. He's the one who directed it, especially the action, which we'll get to later. He directed that really well.
The action's beautiful. Anyway, basically, he puts Grogu on the. Basically, he's like, how does this work? Then do we just turn it on or something?
Yeah, he's looking around.
He places him on it, and then. And then this is the big reveal.
An engine noise, and then we see Slave One, which is, oh my god, man, I lost my mind when Slave One came back. Like that's like my favorite ship in all the Star Wars aside from the Millennium Falcon. That was like, I couldn't believe that they actually brought Slave One back. That was like, oh god, that was so.
It looks like exactly the same as well.
The CGI could do with a tiny bit of work if I'm being like super picky, but I didn't even care. It still looked great. It was Slave One's. I couldn't believe.
I mean, everyone knew what was coming when we saw Slave One. Everyone knew what was coming when we saw Slave One. I mean, we didn't get like a proper shot of it when it first landed in. Like we saw it like flying.
We
saw it from far away, but it's obviously a very distinct shape that you know it's Slave One.
Yeah, that you just
and then it was obviously when Mando uses his I think he uses the visor on his helmet, or because he didn't have the sniper thing on him, did he? The pulse cannon. He didn't have that on him. So he was using the visor on his helmet to like I think he was scanning for a heat signature, and then we got like a heat signature outline of it then. But then we don't actually see it properly until later on in the episode.
Yeah,
we see it like for like a few seconds. Which I'll put a picture of there now. But yeah, so pretty much Mando's like, we need to go. He turns around and the child has got this force barrier like
around him,
like shielding him.
There's like a little ring around him which is like lit up blue, and that kind of reminded me of Jedi Fallen Order when Cal does his like meditation, when he goes to the meditation point and then sits there and kneels down. There's like a, you know, when you exit out of that and go into it, there's like a big blue circle around him, so do you think that could be...
Thing is, Grogu was in the same position when Cal goes into meditation.
Yeah, the only difference was he had his his hands in a different like state. He wasn't like, he didn't have them on his like knees. He's kind of like just sitting there like some sort of yoga master or something, just like with his...
I think that was actually a really cool shot, like to see, like we saw that from like, most of the... Well, not most of the episode, for the first half of the episode. Cause,
and then there was like a big beam thing going up into the sky, like a big blue kind of force beam.
Oh, yeah.
That was like around him.
Which sort of indicated that the reaching out thing most likely did work.
But
a
good possibility it could be Cal, because obviously Cal does meditate like that. So
one thing to note, we do not find out who, or get any hints of who he possibly could have spoke to or contacted.
Yeah, if anyone.
The biggest hint is, like you said, how the beam and the circle sort of represents the Cal's meditation. That's sort of the biggest sort of hint. But yeah, he's basically stuck in there for a good amount of time. Mando's like, oh, we need to go now. So
tries to leave. Boba Fett's come. I'm gonna die. So, I mean,
tries to sort of grab him.
Yeah.
And Mando just goes flying across the air.
Because he's got some sort of like protective barrier around him that you can push him back.
So realistically, if anyone did come to attack the child, unless it was like a dark force user, we can presume that they probably wouldn't have been able to get into this force barrier.
Yeah.
Which was that was my earliest thinking in the episode. I was thinking if Boba Fett, because obviously when we knew that it was going to be Boba Fett in Slave 1.
Yeah, you see Slave 1, I mean, unless they were going to do some sort of weird twist, which I don't think they would have done, then Boba Fett's coming.
Yeah, I thought if Boba Fett or if anyone else like comes to this planet tries to grab the child, the same thing's going to happen to them, like what happened to Mando. So should be safe for now. Then we see Mando go and confront the bald man himself, Boba Fett.
Yeah.
We saw he looked basically exactly how he looked from the first episode. No, well, I didn't think he was going to come back. I can just say that now. I didn't think he was going to come back.
He'd be like at the end of the last episode or something, like following the Razor Crest or something like that. But
he's fully back, like fully.
He's there, yeah.
He's there. He's talking. He's saying, "I want my armor," and that was a terrible attempt at the accent. I'm sorry if I offended anyone by doing that.
I didn't realise that was an attempt at the accent. From New Zealand going to come and start like shanking you with their like spears or something at this point. Like
what with the big Tusken Raider, the Tusken Raider spears?
Stick, yeah, because that was for those of you who don't know, Boba Fett. Sorry, I was going to talk about Jango Fett before that, but Boba Fett uses a gaffy stick, and the style he's using to fight is apparently similar to something from New Zealand. I don't remember what it was called.
Yeah, there's New Zealand has a big tribal culture.
It's called like Fijian something. I don't know.
Yeah, and they have the New Zealand rugby team do
Fijian
the
Totaki or something like that was like the weapon. You know the gaffy stick. That's basically the New Zealand weapon.
It's like the New Zealand rugby team when they do the war dances and stuff. The ancient war dances and stuff. Yeah, and so it's I didn't even realize that until you told me, but I can see how that's implemented in there, and I guess it's nice to see a bit of that culture in there.
He says, "I'm just a simple man trying to make my way through the through the galaxy. Should be universe, but who cares?" He said, "Like my father before me." So yeah, Boba Fett's back.
We get a lot of information about, well, not a lot, but we get very significant information about Jango Fett as well that we didn't know before.
Boba Fett as well, yes. So that's good.
Yeah, let's just carry on with the chronological order. So Boba Fett's like, "Give me my armor," basically. Mando's like, "No." Well, Mando said, "Are you not are you a Mandalorian?" He goes, "I serve no."
Yeah, he said, "I give my allegiance to no one."
Yeah, and then what else? If we see Fennec Shan.
Yeah, he says that I've got a sharpshooter pointed at the child, and it's Fennec. So that's addressing season 1 at least, and that we know now that the person on Tatooine in the weird cloak who went up to Fennec at the end of the 5th episode is Boba Fett. And
so basically, a lot of people's theories did become true then.
Yeah, and they explained that she obviously got shot by Toro, and then in this episode she opens up her shirt, and you could see her stomach where there's mechanical parts inside. So Boba Fett brought her back basically, or stopped her from dying.
So now them two are basically a team because Boba Fett saved her, so she's sort of in debt to him, I guess. And then we see she's got a new helmet, by the way, which I pointed out to you. She had
that helmet in the 5th episode.
Did it have? I felt like it had a new color scheme though. I don't know why.
I think it was the same. I think you couldn't see the 5th episode though because it was dark and far away. So yeah, she definitely had the same helmet though.
Yeah, I mean, we got to see her in a lot more detail, and her actually fighting this episode, she had some really good scenes.
It's
which
big
I
now.
actually liked.
She can she can play fighting characters really well. She was May in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as well, and she voices Mulan, so she's
I mean, she was great in this episode as well. But I think the main focus of the episode is Boba Fett. Because we see him return once his armor, and then he's like.
Also, another important thing to say here, I just forgot. I just remembered now, is that Boba Fett says to Mando, "Take off the jetpack, and we'll stop pointing at Grogu." So Mando's jetpack is not with him in this episode, which could have been very useful at times, but I guess he didn't.
That's true, yeah.
Up. But,
you know what I don't understand though? Could he not have just, when he needed it, because there was a few parts where he definitely needed it, could he not have just done the thing where he uses it with his gauntlets thing? Because he did that in the second episode, or whatever, the second episode, sorry, not the first one. He did that in the second episode, so I feel like he could have done that.
That's what I was thinking. I thought maybe he could have just used, got it back.
You know what? Yeah, the way Mando's running this episode up and down the hill was actually kind of making me laugh. It was kind of funny the way he was pacing up and down the hill. Because he was trying to look for the child, and he was trying to like talk to Boba Fett and say, "Look, don't shoot him, please." And then well, he does run back to the child, and because when he's after he's spoken to Boba Fett, because we see the stormtrooper basically transport ships come in.
Yeah,
and then
little like dropship thing.
Yeah, and then we see one of them come in. Obviously, they instantly know that some trouble's gonna happen. So Mando then runs back up the hill to see if Grogu's done with his little communication session with the Jedi.
Yeah.
And then he's not done. And then as soon as he goes back down, he talks to him. Huh? Yeah, as soon as he leaves, he's done. He's done. You could have just looked back. He might have been done, but oh well, that's fine. He goes back down. The stormtroopers start coming out, and then this is where we see basically Boba Fett and Fennec turn into killing machines. Basically,
yeah. Boba Fett was bloody murdering everyone. He started whacking him with that gaffy stick. It was so sick. He was like murdering everyone.
The way that it was filmed as well, when the stormtroopers' helmets were getting smashed and pieces were flying through the air, those scenes were actually amazing. I've said to you, those were my favorite action scenes in this whole show.
It was until later in the episode for me. But yeah.
I mean, like the whole like all Boba Fett's action scenes so far.
And
I think those are my favorite action scenes.
It was like shooting the wall. She kicked the boulder down the. That kind of
that was good as well.
Ark. When Indy's running away from the boulder in the beginning, except the stormtrooper gets crushed by it.
Also, that was good as well.
We saw the stormtrooper commander with the pauldron on it, not the like legend stormtrooper commander, the blue one. We saw like a stormtrooper with the pauldron on. That was kind of cool. We haven't seen one of them.
The one with the orange one.
Yeah, with the pauldron on. Yeah, we haven't seen one of them in the Mandalorian yet. I don't think. Yeah, we didn't see it in season 1, so that was.
He was like kind of bossing all the other ones about.
That was kind of funny though, when the one stormtrooper said, "Shouldn't we?" He said something like, "Shouldn't we go up top?" And he's like, "What are you, an idiot? Flank him!" And then he just gets shot and dies. And then he just says, "Go up top." That was kind of funny. And then
I mean,
this episode was very fast. Everything was like moving at like breakneck speed, which was good. It wasn't like
I think the length of this episode is what, 37. That's including the credits. So
it's 33.
Oh, it's 33.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was 37 for some reason.
Yeah, it was like
33. So a very short episode, but this is not filler. I don't feel like any of this was filler whatsoever.
No, there's no person who can like sanely say that this is filler. There's so much that happens in this.
I mean, yeah, and then basically we get this stormtrooper battle when Boba Fett sort of smacking everyone with his
gaffy
stick, and then using the actual rifle as well at some point.
The cycler rifle. The Tusken Raider rifle, cycler rifle.
Yeah, and then we see Fennec obviously fending all of them off using very let's say creative methods to killing the stormtroopers.
Like throwing the helmet, kicking boulders, and
there was one shot with her when she was shooting the stormtroopers, which I wanted to point out because I thought it looked really good. When she jumped off off and shooting. That was sick. Yeah.
And then I'm so happy that they actually like did something with that character now, because I thought like they completely wasted Ming-Na Wen in season 1. So I'm so happy that they brought that character back.
She was very good in this episode. Yeah. I mean. Then we see then I think the first wave of troopers get basically murdered, and then we see the second one come in, but then we see Boba Fett look towards the Razor Crest, probably thinking,
what's happening there.
That's where my armor is. Let's go. So then he disappears for like a little bit, for like a few minutes, and then we see the second wave of stormtroopers come in, and then Mando joins the fight, obviously, with Fennec, obviously defending Fennec. We see Mando take many shots this episode.
That's what I was going to say. That's one thing I found like hilarious, is that the stormtroopers just can't hit anyone, but then when it comes to Mando, because he's got Beskar on, they don't miss a single shot. They all just bounce off him and go.
You know what? Yeah, Mando doesn't actually try and like dodge anything though. He knows he's got Beskar, so he sort of he throws himself in there because obviously he was defending Fennec as well. So they sort of take they take a few of them out, and then I think that there's another troop transport come in straight after. They don't take them fully one out.
That was afterwards though, I think,
because when they were getting overwhelmed constantly.
Those mustard troopers look cool though, or the mortar troopers or whatever you want to call them. I'm just going to call them mustard troopers because they're yellow.
Oh, the yellow ones. Yeah. I thought they looked.
They were just flame troopers. They looked like the flame troopers from
the incinerator ones, but just yellow.
Not flame troopers.
Yeah, I thought they looked decent. What was their purpose? Like, do they have like any speciality about?
Yeah. They used mortars. They just shot the mortars at the they were sticking them inside that mortar thing and just blasting them off and blowing people up.
I mean, yeah. So we see those, and then we see Fennec and Mando like starting to get overwhelmed a little bit because a lot are coming out of the troop transports, and then
everywhere.
And then this is the big action sort of scene.
This is the only part where I lost my mind after the Slave One at the beginning.
Everyone knew it was coming when Boba Fett looked at the Razor Crest.
Mm-hmm.
But then obviously we get the big sort of Boba Fett coming from behind and just basically
a big charge like fly onto the floor, blows all the stormtroopers up, and then
we
comes
see
flying in with the jetpack. There's lands and starts beating the crap out of everyone
using a pistol. Which I still wonder where he gets that from. I don't know.
I think it's Cobb Vance's pistol. It looked like the same one that was on his belt.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. And then, what else did he use? He was just beating everyone up.
Oh, yeah. We finally saw him use the missile launching knee pads. He shot the missiles at the knee pads.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
He finally used those.
My Boba Fett, I didn't even realise Boba Fett had these. My Boba Fett Black Series figure was sitting on the shelf. And then when he used that, I looked at it and I was like, oh, those are my figure. I looked at them, they were there, and I was like, oh, I didn't realise he had these.
He's got missile firing knee pads. They were, I remember I saw, it was like a little web documentary thing on the episode 2 DVD called like Buckethead, which you guys should watch that. It's on YouTube, so it's like really short as well. Where they talk about Boba Fett and Jango Fett, and Jeremy Bulloch, who played Boba Fett in the original trilogy, he said that he had like dart firing knee pads as well. So they finally used that.
We see him use like a range of things. The action scenes were shot beautifully. I'll put some of the screenshots up now.
When he had he like on his gauntlet and he punched the stormtrooper and he like shot like a little rocket thing out. It wasn't like a rocket, it's like a little boost thing, and he sent the stormtrooper flying.
Oh yeah.
That was sick. The whole thing with Boba Fett was just amazing, and then he doesn't even look at the stormtrooper and shoots him in the face.
Boba Fett, I feel like, you know, I used to say to you,
yeah.
Why do you like Boba Fett so much?
Jump on the Boba Fett bandwagon. I was there from back in the day.
I used to say to you, because you like Boba Fett's your favorite Star Wars character.
He's not my favorite. He's up there. He used to be when I was younger. Now I'd say it's like Han Solo and Boba Fett. Like both, like Han Solo, Boba Fett, Darth Vader, Yoda, Luke. Those are like the.
I mean, one of the favorites, and then after I watched the original trilogy like properly, and like actually like saw Boba Fett, I was sort of saying to you, he doesn't really do much, and I don't understand like why he is your like one of your favorites. Yeah. And then I was like, he looks cool.
All the other stuff that he does as well, like the comics, the even Clone Wars, like in the later seasons of Clone Wars. Like the first seasons, he wasn't all that in Clone Wars, but later he was pretty cool.
It was actually a badass this episode.
Yeah, no, it was sick.
It was mad. Like if you haven't watched this, I don't know why you're here if you haven't watched this.
Yeah, but you probably shouldn't be watching this part of the video if you haven't watched it. But oh well.
You definitely need to go and take a look. The action scenes were at this point were just amazing. But yeah, we get that whole action scene, and then everyone's like, "It's just hype." It's just hype. Everyone was hyped when we were watching it. And then I don't even remember what happens like straight after that. Is it the big reveal of the Moff?
No, it was the Dark Troopers.
Yeah, but the Moff sends the Dark Troopers in.
The Dark Troopers in, yeah, you know what I mean. They were the Dark Troopers came in. Those were just this episode gave me everything I wanted. Because Boba Fett was just amazing. Slave One's back, which is one of my favourite ships. Dark Troopers, which are like Dark Forces, is one of my favourite Star Wars games, and they looked like really good. It was like a perfect blend of new and like some old from Dark Forces. They looked like very similar, but like had.
I actually really liked them. Seeing them properly for the first time, I actually really liked them.
They don't do a whole lot in this episode aside from take the child. So they do a lot, but they don't at the same time because they don't have a lot of screen time. But they were still.
Well, to be fair, they what they do in the small amount of time is very significant. But also, they didn't really come into contact with anyone who was going to fight them. I thought
pick the child up and just kind of leave.
When they landed in front of the child, I thought the child might do something, but then he didn't. I thought he could maybe like because he was sitting on the ceiling, bro. I feel like I was sort of maybe expecting some like big blue like force push
repulse.
just to come and just push them all off the cliff,
like the
or
one
something.
that Starkiller has in the Force Unleashed, where he repulses.
Yeah, like that. I was expecting something like that to happen, but then I thought to myself at the same time that that would very much undermine the Dark Troopers, and they look so good, and they look so intimidating, and you can see that they've got a lot of you can see that they're going to be very powerful, as well, just from what they can do. But they look great
because there was only 4 of them, but we know that there's a lot more because of the episode before the last one, where we saw them all there in Moff Gideon's little pod thing.
We didn't get to see them properly, to the point where we could actually make out what they would fully look like. But this episode we saw basically the whole thing. We saw their heads, we saw the lights, we saw
everything.
Their whole arms, their rocket boot things where they were using to fly because they can actually fully fly. And then
they don't have jetpacks now. They have rocket boots or something.
This is the point where Mando could have used his jetpack if he had it.
That would have helped.
But they sort of just take the child very quickly, take it and then shoot back up, fly back up.
Hold on, one thing I just realised we missed. Rip Razor Crest.
Oh, can we have a minute of silence for the Razor Crest, please? Rest in peace, Razor Crest. That was what happened just before the Dark Troopers came in. That's what happened straight after the Boba Fett action
scene. Beautiful ship. Just as we said, so much happened in this episode. I was I don't even I can't even. I want to
say rest in peace to the Razor Crest. And then I want to see the comments. Well, not the comments. I just want to see the reactions of the people who invested $300 something into the HasLab. Is it the HasLab one?
Yeah,
the HasLab one. Rest in peace, your bank accounts. that's
rest in peace, Razor Crest as well. That was such a sick ship, and it's just been blown up. It's gone.
One red laser straight through the middle, just a laser shot straight through the middle. Just completely
it's just
gone.
Decimated, it's just gone to a crater now.
Everything gone. There was only 2 things that remained, which we'll talk about in a minute. But we do see that obviously the Dark Troopers take the child, they shoot back up to what we can assume is Moff Gideon's. Do they have an official name for it, or is it actually his thingy?
His Star Destroyer.
Star Destroyer.
I don't think they've named it yet.
Well, we can assume it's sort of his Star Destroyer.
Yeah, it has to be his. He's the one who's commanding it.
And then Boba Fett actually follows them in the Slave One. He was actually going to blow them up first. He goes, "I'm going to eliminate them," but that would have taken out the child as well. So they said, "No, don't do it."
And also, he doesn't know that it's the Empire's there, the whole giant fleet of the.
That was one of my favorite. That was one of my favorite quotes of the season when he says, "They're back the Empire."
That, though. He says they're back the Empire, but he's been killing stormtroopers for the past 10 minutes. So did he not realise that there's a good chance the Empire could maybe be back?
He probably thinks that there's small remains, but he probably doesn't think there's that big of a
also, I guess some mercenaries use stormtrooper armor to fight as well. So that's. They probably
that's true. And then we see that obviously they're back the Empire, which I'm pretty sure Mando already knows, so it wasn't really any of the surprise.
Mando's been fully acquainted with them at this point. Yeah.
And then we see basically we see Boba Fett sort of fly back down. Everything sort of calmed down now because Moff, he got what he wanted. Basically told everyone to back off. The 2 troop transports that were left got blown up by Boba Fett, which we talked about earlier, which was sick. And because he used the rocket launcher on his jetpack.
Yeah, and shot them both down. He shot one, and then it landed on top of the other and blew them both up.
And then he sort of just flexed and said, "I was meant to hit the other one actually, but you know what? It
worked. Yeah.
And then we see basically
Mando mourning the Razor Crest.
Mando mourning Razor Crest, and then actually thinking, "Oh, they've got the child now. What am I going to do now?" So basically,
he's literally lost everything in this episode. He lost his ship. He lost his pulse rifle. He lost all of his weapons. He's lost the child. He
lost all of his weapons except for the Beskar spear, which obviously that survived because apparently Beskar could get hit by a nuke at this point and nothing will happen to it.
You know The Last Jedi when Luke came at the end, like it's the force projection. If you had Beskar, do you think you just wouldn't have had to force project? He's like shot 1,000 times, he's not died. He's like indestructible from anything.
Yeah, that's what he would have jumped in the way like Mando was in this episode, where he was just like sort of taking all the bullets to the chest.
That's what I was saying in the last episode. Remember I said it's a little ridiculous that it can block lightsabers and now it can just block anything. It's like it's
I think you could probably like Do you think it could take a shot from Starkiller Base and then still survive, and then it would just be floating around?
I don't even know anymore, to be honest. I guess we'll find out in the next episode or the episode.
I want to see how much it can actually take, because we haven't actually seen this Beskar like get damaged yet. Anything that's Beskar in this show hasn't actually like been destroyed.
Indestructible. You should have made the Razor Crest out of Beskar, then that would have just like
I don't think that. Well,
just tank the shot.
According to this like whole season, Beskar's like the rarest thing on any planet.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, because there's no Mandalorian left as well. So
we see the spear legit perfectly fine. He picks it up, bit dirty, shakes it off. It's pure like just silver again.
Yeah,
like it's just shiny again.
Ball as well.
And he also gets the ball, which is sort of a morning sort of thing. But so he knows that Moff Gideon. He knows that Moff Gideon won't kill the child because of the video transmission thing we saw in the Siege episode, where they say obviously they need the donor back for more blood. So he knows that the Moff won't kill the child, so he knows that he's probably got time to go and get it. And then basically we see Boba Fett basically saying, "Look here, I've got proof that my father was a founding." That was
so
the thing
confirmed. Jango Fett is an actual Mandalorian. Albec was lying, which isn't a shock to me, but apparently people believed Albec is a corrupt, evil Mandalorian prime minister, like politician person. He's just clearly evil, but I don't know. People thought he was telling the truth for some reason. And also, they said he fought in the Mandalorian Civil Wars. So I wonder if Jango Fett Open Seasons is canon, which is a comic from Legends. I don't think it is, but I hope that they bring it back into canon. But also, you know, on his like chain code where Boba Fett was showing him. Yeah. Also, you know, chain code, is that basically like a national insurance number or something in Star Wars?
I don't know. Like, it might be a passport or something.
Yeah, because everyone has one, don't they? And they always talk about it. They don't really explain what it was. Anyway.
I mean, at least he's got proof that it's actually his suit, so now,
they said, like, some people went through and translated Boba Fett's chain code thing. And one of them says something about Jasta, which is Jasta Mareel, who's Boba Fett's, I mean, technically Jango Fett's adoptive, like, father or mentor sort of character. He kind of looked after him. So it's him who found Jango Fett, I think, if they keep it the same as Legends. They mentioned him, so maybe Montrose is canon as well. He's another Mandalorian from Legends. And if any of you want to know about any of this stuff, just play Star Wars Banshee. Explains everything. Play that whole game and then read the comics.
I still need to finish that.
It's not that great of a game anymore in terms of gameplay, but I still love it. It's really fun. That was like the first game I ever played.
I mean, yeah. So we get that key thing where he shows it on, like, it projects up, and then obviously Mando's like, oh, okay, then that's clearly yours.
Keep your armor.
He's like, clearly yours. They obviously keep the armor, and then Boba Fett obviously says, I said to you at the start, if you give me the armor, we will ensure the safety of you and the child. So,
or just the child. He said we'll ensure the safety of the child. I don't think everybody is that overly concerned about Mando.
We got the official team up of Boba Fett and Mando, and obviously Fennec as well.
Flying in space again.
Oh yeah, we saw that's the proper shot that we
and the way they did Slave One looked perfect as well. Cause like the inside of it looked exactly like how it did in Attack of the Clones, which it just looked like it was just everything about it was perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I really liked it. I think it was really good. And then we see them go back to they go back to Navarro, don't they?
Yeah, to Cara.
But Boba Fett's probably never been there before, maybe. But
he must have done at some point, I'd assume, in his travels.
Yeah, maybe, but we see obviously them go back and then see Cara Dune, who decided to actually join the New Republic.
Yeah, she's a marshal for the New Republic now, so she's like official.
And we see the badge as well that she got. it's the siege episode, wasn't it? The end of the siege episode. So
Yeah.
we see the badge, and then we don't see like Boba Fett or anyone come into contact with Cara Dune or Fennec. We can assume they're in the slave one, and Mando's just gone to talk to her. Mando sort of says, "I need to break." I don't even remember the guy from the.
Mayfeld. Yeah, he's gonna go get Mayfeld out of the prison
to find Moff Gideon's ship.
Yeah, because he was ex-Empire, wasn't he? Mayfeld was. He was
so
sharpshooter.
So yeah, we can assume next episode most likely a prison breakout, and then
maybe we'll see
maybe half of it's prison breakout and half of it's sort of tracking down the ship. Yeah. I feel like towards the end of the next episode we're gonna see the ship, but we won't actually see them come into contact with the ship in general.
Yeah,
and then the last episode's gonna be
3-part finale, because we've got this episode which sets everything up, and then we're gonna have the next one which will probably start putting some meat on the bones, and then the last one will just be like madness, basically.
I mean, yeah. And then we see Cara Dune obviously saying, I can't like do that because I'm taking my position very seriously.
Yeah.
And then he's like, they've got the child. Cara Dune gives him this look, thinking, okay, now I'm going to give you all the information that you need to get the child back.
I wonder if Grief's going to like go with him or anything, or if Grief's going to help him. Because Grief was like,
we didn't see Grief here, which which is a bit random. I feel like we would have seen him.
I wonder if he'll go with him, because like, he seemed pretty close to the child in like the Siege, which was chapter 12.
12, 12.
I can do maths. I'm not that stupid, but chapter 12 we saw Grief kind of having a like fun moment with the child. So I wonder if he'll go and help Mando save him.
It would be nice to see him, but we can assume that we're gonna get a big showdown between them. But I feel like the Beskar spear thing, like the significance of that, and obviously the ball being saved. I feel like that's gonna play a big part towards the finale. So
it might be
we get that part.
Dice in the Last Jedi. Because that's like the last remnant of Han.
I feel like those will play a big part in the finale. Here's why I think that, because in the next scene, which is the final scene, we see the child obviously locked up. Well, he's not locked up. He's just sort of just sitting in this
in a jail
room.
Cell. Yeah,
it's like a jail cell. It looked quite big for the size he is.
Well,
but,
relative to him, he's like the size of like someone's foot. So
and then we saw obviously the Moff. Moff says. Yeah. Moff, I don't remember what he says. He just says, "Let's go and see the child." Basically, goes into the cage thing.
I don't think he says anything. I think he just kind of walks in.
Yeah. The way the Moff turns is so dramatic.
He moves around like Darth Vader. That's what it reminded me of. He moves exactly like Darth Vader.
Maybe, yeah. I get. Maybe he's like wasn't there like a group of people who were like obsessed with Vader after his death?
Yeah, Kylo Ren and the First Order. They were.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, he moves around very dramatically. He sort of turns up proper quickly and stuff.
Yeah,
that's the one thing I
like Darth Vader. That's what
and then his cape sort of just like follows him. I really like his cape. I really like the black and red.
Follows him. It's attached to him. Obviously, it's gonna follow it.
It just starts waving everywhere, and I don't know. One complaint I've got, I don't know why I'm saying this on here, but the Black Series Moff doesn't have a fabric cape. Why? I don't know.
I mean, he barely has a head that looks like Giancarlo Esposito, so I think the cape's like the least of your worries. That's like a different topic altogether.
Anyway, we see him go into the cell where they're holding the child, and then the child's just basically mashing up clothes. I was gonna say clothes. I don't know what to say. Clothes. And stormtroopers mashing them up. He's just mashing them up,
smashing them together and against the wall. And that part where he's like making them like move to his will. That kind of reminded me of like bloodbending and Avatar. I remember Katara was like
where
Katara was like controlling that general guy who killed her mum.
That was so weird.
Yeah, that was pretty weird, but. Then Moff talks to the child and he says, obviously makes him sleepy. Giancarlo Esposito's performance there was funny. And he's just like, when he pulls the Darksaber out and then he's like, have you seen one of these in times past or whatever? Then the child's like, I don't know why the child was going to touch it. Did he not realise that's going to like...
He's probably going to get like cooked and then the child's no more, basically.
I'm pretty sure if he touched it, his whole hand would like just disintegrate considering how small it is. His hand's probably the size of someone's finger, so...
Well, people losing hands in Star Wars isn't exactly a new concept, so
true, yeah, it's not anything new. Yeah.
I mean,
and then Moff's takes it away. And he's like, "No, you're not ready for that yet because you're gonna poke your eye out." And then he tells him to put it in,
possibly hinting at he wants to train him in the ways of the dark side.
Essentially, yeah.
And obviously the child being very reckless with the stormtroopers obviously is very much hinting that in this time that they're going to keep him locked up, he could very well do stuff that could get him a lot closer to the dark side. And one thing that I just came up with now, which is I was talking about the ball that Mando picked up. I feel like that it could be possible that the child will maybe be by the time Mando gets to him, will be sort of blinded by the dark side, and he won't think clearly, and maybe he'll start attacking everyone, just out of pure hate. And then
he's a kid
this
as well,
ball,
so he's probably scared of
this ball could be the sort of key to calming him down. And because this ball has played it's played a big part in the child has got an attachment to it,
and even his training. It's
I feel like this could mean something, that it may well be used to calm the child down and to just sort of make him sort of focus away from the dark side.
Yeah.
If it gets too much too powerful within him. Maybe I think towards the season finale, if he is returned to Mando in the season finale. But and then we also see Moff say send the message to
Dr. Pershing, tell him about the donor.
Yeah. So and then that's pretty much the episode ends.
We get shackles and episode ends.
We get our credits. We get our doo-doo, and then
and then
we'll pretty much have
wait a whole week now.
And this whole episode of us actually talking about the episode is actually longer than the episode itself.
That is actually true. It's almost double the length of the episode. No, actually, that's not true. But it's getting there. But
But what an amazing episode!
Yeah, it was a great episode. That was my probably my favorite episode this whole season.
I mean, what an amazing episode! I think one of my favorite Mandalorian episodes of all time.
Yeah, definitely. This is some of the best Star Wars we've seen in a while. Obviously, Rebels and the end of Clone Wars and Jedi Fallen Order, season 1 of the Mandalorian, and a few other things as well, like Force Awakens. I like Last Jedi, I like Rise of Skywalker, just flipping AIDS in a movie. But this is just great. I love this episode.
I mean, welcome back, Boba Fett. What a return! What a return!
Yeah.
Tamora Morrison is brilliant. The acting was brilliant.
Yeah,
everything.
He's perfect for this role. He's been wanting to come back to Star Wars for a while, I think, in a live action role, because obviously he's done loads of voice acting and stuff. But what a great episode.
That's pretty much all I have to say. What an amazing episode! If you haven't seen it already, I don't know why you're here, but go watch it though. Yeah. Just let us know if you have seen it, your opinions and about everything that happened in this episode. Also, don't forget to share with all your family and friends and the whole Star Wars community. Don't forget to hit that like button if you did enjoy, because it does really help get the videos out there. Also, don't forget to subscribe, stick around for more videos. Go and check out all our other previous Mandalorian and Star Wars themed videos.
Yeah, we'll put here. Check out Instagram as well. It's link in the description.
Yeah, but pretty much thank you so much for watching. If you did make it to the end of this video, because it's quite a long video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.